Hi, this is Rajat this side. I'll go ahead basis a confirmation that my slide is visible.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, Feddy is basically, before I rush through the slide, I'll just give a basic introduction. Feddy is basically a chatbot that Federal Bank built back in October 2020 in order to entertain the queries of the customer. We had one chatbot before that, but we just wanted to transform that earlier chatbot, which was not that intelligent, into a new one, having backed by state of the art technology from Google, Amazon, etc. So what again is Feddy? So Feddy, as I said, is an AI based, but it's an omni-channel chatbot. So why omni-channel? Omni-channel basically means that it is available across multiple channels, such as website, our corporate website, and you have got it on WhatsApp, Alexa, Google Assistant, and then we are basically the first bank in the country, and even a handful of institutions in the country to actually go live with Google Maps and Google Search. I'll let you know how this works, but I'll just go on with the introduction. Then it is built on Google's NLP engine called Google Dialogflow, and we have deployed this whole system on AWS so that it is the availability is enhanced. There are lower downtimes, less security risk, etc. Now, in the current avatar, Feddy is currently capable of handling customer queries, and the data that actually gets fed into Feddy is the data that is available on the Federal Bank's website. So publicly available information. Then Feddy is it's having a 24/7 true live agent capability, which basically means that if you want access to a human agent, you don't have to come through a call center. You can just go to Feddy, say I want to interact with the live agent, or it can be other way. I mean, Feddy detects that you're not kind of satisfied with the response. Feddy will ask you itself that do you want to connect to a live agent? So that is how things are. Now again, it has potential to undertake core banking functionalities and banking features also, maybe account balance, account statement. These are mundane activities from now standards. Then it uses text matches. Another algorithm basically, so which kinds of supersedes the Google Dialogflow responses, and based on two text magic and Dialogflow, the responses to the customers are given. So this was a very basic introduction of Feddy. We'll move on to next slide. Why Feddy is such a unique implementation? So you have probably seen there are a lot of chatbots. I mean, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is having a chatbot now there on their website. What is so unique about Feddy that why I'm giving you this presentation? So it's basically that it's a hallmark of technical brilliance in the sense like the kind of things that we have implemented. For example, the chatbots usually which get implemented are keyword based chatbot. So if you want to know your account balance, there are n number of chatbots. You type account balance, they will give you a link to see account balance, or they'll probably display the account balance also to you. But have you ever tried asking them that how much money do I have? Whether if they are able to recognize that, okay, how much money do I have, it basically means it's a natural language. This is how humans speak. Okay, that means that the person is searching for account balance. Or it could be nested query wherein I could have asked how much money do I have, and I want to transfer 500 rupees. So first of all, they should go and check my account balance, and then they should ask me to initiate a fund transfer. So this is the kind of implementation that we have gone around with. Then there is one unique feature called branch in ATM search. So I have attached a couple of screenshots which will display this better. But just to give you a brief, branch in ATM search is basically that in your WhatsApp, you have a function called share your location. So in other chatbots which are available over WhatsApp, if you share your location, probably nothing is going to happen, or you will get a garbage response. But in Feddy, if you share your location, it will give you branches and ATMs which are under a defined proximity as a decision taken by the bank. I mean, we have a control, we can set the radius to 3 square kilometers, 4 square kilometers, but that is something we control, but that functionality is there. Then, as I said, Federal Bank is one of the first institutions in the country and the first bank in the country to introduce the chatbot on Google Maps and Google Search. Now, if you search a a Federal Bank branch on Google Maps or Google Search, you go on to chat options, you will have Feddy there. You can chat on with Feddy. And I will also tell you why this is important. This is important because once those restrictions were there and people were actually looking for a branch, and if you're looking for a branch, that means technically you want some service from the Federal Bank. Now, if you want some service from the Federal Bank and you are there on the Google Maps, so bank should entertain you over Google Maps. Why would you come to WhatsApp and go to Federal Bank's website to get an answer? So that was one of the key aspects that we thought. Then, as I said, a true 24/7 live agent feature is ready. Anytime you can connect with the live agent. Then the basic idea behind Feddy is it is backed by enterprise-wide AI. Now, what is the difference between enterprise-wide AI? So usually people don't understand this aspect. The point is that there are n number of channels with which Feddy is currently available. It could be website. As I said, there are multiple channels. So what is enterprise-wide AI? Enterprise-wide AI is basically irrespective of which channel you're coming through, you're always interacting with the same AI engine. This engine could be in a form of a chatbot, could be in a form of a data processing solution, but that is the single brain. It's like you can consider this a Terminator movie. In Terminator, there was something called Skynet. So consider Feddy as the Skynet of Federal Bank. Then you've got context-based web pop-up. That basically means that if you're on the website and you're into a car loan page, then Feddy will not ask you, hey, come on to Feddy. It will ask you, hey, what do you want from a car loan? Or maybe how do you want to apply for a car loan? So it will give you a suitable or a kind of a tailored message for you based on the page you are in. Then it has got best in class UX. So that UX also will show you. It's not as mundane and as, it's not that common. So that is something that I have attached some screenshots to be able to see. And then I have set up future-proof architecture. So future-proof architecture basically means that we have given a whole thought behind this, that how we will scale this chatbot into a complete virtual assistant. Usually we call it from omni-channel chatbot to a omnipotent assistant. So that is the terminology we use for our Feddy. Then there are some screenshots which I wanted to show you. So this is basically the first one is a web UI. So this UI, you see, it's asking me good morning, Rajat. Then I have some frequently asked questions as a proper tiles. Then as you can see, some offers are also there. So I can just scroll it. And this is the web implementation. And just you can see the mascot also. So Feddy is not just a small icon, it's a proper mascot. So we have tried to give it a human figure, though animated, but a human figure. Then the second slide is the WhatsApp location. So I explained you that how it works. So I have shared my WhatsApp location, and then you can see it's telling me that there are 6 branches near your location, and then the list goes on. Then the third one is the Google Maps UI. So as I said, if you're having your phone, you can try it right now. So just go on Google Maps, try it on Federal Bank branch, click on chat, and Feddy is there. So I've asked a couple of questions from Feddy, and Feddy has probably given me a response with I think so it's related to offers. Yeah, so it's related to offers. So that is what I had asked Feddy then. So just to capture a screenshot basically to show you that thing is there. Then what were the challenges in the implementation? So basically, everybody knows, it's not a surprise that financial industry is a heavily regulated industry. And coming up with such an initiative wherein there are several channels and each channel have their data policy, basically how they will handle the data, how the customer data will flow. Then you have master directions from RBI that the data has to be stored in India. It should not go out. But basically all the AI processing engines are outside in maybe Chicago or California. These are locations where Google engines are. So we had to find a workaround of how things will happen. We have to comply with all the platforms guideline as well as the RBI master direction, and also provide a proper experience to the customer, without which this whole thing is useless. So how we have gone about this? So we have actually devised a separate user journeys for each channel, but the experience is seamless. For example, if you ask something, I want to know my account balance, the response you will get as a text and the response you will get as a voice over Alexa and Google Assistant is different, because that is how the customer journey has to be tailored. Then the problem is that we have a limited control over the UI. So Alexa and Google Assistant, if you see, they give their own UI. You can basically ask a question in text and you can get a response in text. That was the problem. So we have to abide by those rules and regulations. And there are certain concerns also. See, I'm using chatbot, and somebody would say, if I'm accessing banking functionalities, what if somebody gets hold of my device and kind of knows my account balance or makes a transfer to somebody else? So that was also a challenge. And then voice is not private. Voice is not private in the sense you having Alexa device and you have a Feddy Alexa skill installed. Somebody can come and ask, hey Feddy, what is my account balance? And it's there. It will give you the account balance. It won't understand who is calling. Obviously, Alexa is coming up with a new feature called Voice ID, but that is voice biometrics. How that will work
I
and
think
how
you need to conclude, please.
Okay, sure. Within 5 minutes, I will conclude. Then the
No,
solutions.
no, you don't have 5 minutes. You have 2 minutes only.
Okay, cool. So the solution we have built, as I said, we have a Google Dialogflow. Then the ecosystem is on AWS, and then it is enterprise-wide AI. All the channels will have a seamless experience. Then the future scalability. Future scalability, basically, we will have a dedicated application for Feddy. We will have banking functionalities over Feddy, and we will try to provide a no UI experience to the customer as a form of conversational banking. So with that, I end my presentation. I'm open to questions now.
Okay. How many of your customers are now using it?
Yeah, so basically we get around 120 to 130,000 queries a month, and that includes all the channels: web, WhatsApp, Alexa Assistant, Google Maps. And previously that was around 60,000 to 50,000. So we have doubled that.
So any feedback mechanism you have, whether they are satisfied with the type of reaction they get from the chatbot?
Yeah, so actually, we did not have an explicit feedback mechanism now. We have built it. Currently, it is into closed user group testing. The point is that if you ask some question from Feddy and if you get a response and you're not asking that question again, we kind of consider that user is partially satisfied. And if the user asks a different question again, it is not at all related with the previous question, then we consider that the user is satisfied with the response, because otherwise you'll be asking the same question or probably you'll end the conversation. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there should be proper inbuilt mechanism, no?
Correct. So that mechanism currently getting developed. I did not include it as a part of the presentation because it is under closed user group testing.
Okay. Thank you. Otherwise, good initiative.
Thank you.
Most of the time I have seen in the chatbots that there are limited sets of question and answers. And normally a customer is not satisfied with what is given out. It's all garbage only.
Yep.
So I don't know, I have not seen of your chatbot, but how are you sure that this is not the same?
No, so that is why I said a couple of times in the presentation. I mean, it's open. You can go to website, and if you're having a Federal Bank account, then you can see it over WhatsApp as well. So you can go and try it out as per your heart content before evaluating or finishing with this evaluation. That's the best I can say.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.